Hello and welcome to part 46. In this video, we will learn how developers can abuse exception handling and how we can prevent it. Let's open up the Visual Studio and understand this with an example. Okay, I have opened up my Visual Studio and I have written a small program. In this program, I am asking the user to enter the first number and then the second number, and we are dividing those two numbers A and B and printing out the result in variable C. So let's run this program and see what will happen. Okay, our program is running and it is asking us to provide the first number. Let's give 20 and I will give the second number as 0. And now, as we all know, we cannot divide any number by 0. We will receive the divide by 0 exception. I will press enter here and you can see we are getting the message divide by 0 exception. So now, to handle this, what developer can do? A developer can write something like this. They will put the try block to handle the exception, and they can write the catch block, and in the catch block they can write divide by 0 exception, and they can provide the message cannot divide by 0. Please try again. Okay, and if you notice here, this is the new syntax that we have seen. We are not giving any parameter like this which we are giving before. If you don't want to use this parameter or this object, we can just simply say divide by 0 exception. In this case, if divide by 0 exceptions occurs in the try block, we will come to this catch block. Let's run the program again by pressing Ctrl F5. Program is running again. I will give my first number 10, second number 0. This time we are not getting the exception. Instead, we are giving a user-friendly message, cannot divide by 0. Please try again. Okay, so we have handled the divide by 0 exception. Let's say the user is giving some big number. First number I will give this long. And if you remember, we are trying to pass this number to integer type. So this parsing operation will fail and we will receive the overflow exception. If I press enter here, you can see we are getting the overflow exception. Okay, so what developer will do? Developer will add one more catch block and they can give overflow exception here. Let's change this message here. Number too large or too small. Please provide a number between int dot max value and int dot minimum value. So this is the user-friendly message that we will give if we receive any overflow exception. Let's run the program. And if I try to give a very big number, this time we are receiving a user-friendly message, number too large or too small, please provide a number between this value and this value. Okay, so what programmer is doing, they are using try-catch blocks to handle these errors, divide by 0 errors and overflow exception. But ideally, this is not how we should use exception. These kind of errors should be checked by the developer and then only we should provide the message to the user. We should not overuse try and catch blocks because we will be keep on adding these exceptions in the catch block and our code will become very long and it will be very difficult to understand. So adding more number of catch blocks in our code will reduce the readability of our code. To avoid this using multiple catch blocks, what we can do, we can use try parse method here. So let's try to understand what is try parse method. So let's remove this line and store the user input in a string variable. Let's call it a underscore str with a underscore string, and we will write console.writeLine. Okay, so whatever input is coming from the user, we are storing it in a underscore str. Okay, so now let's use try parse int dot try parse. So if you notice the try parse method, what is happening here, it is expecting two parameters. One is string and one is integer type result. So what will happen if we are able to pass the string to an integer successfully, then this method will set that integer in the result variable, means the second variable, whatever you pass here, and it will return true there. So if the conversion or the parsing is successful, we will receive the true from this method, else we will receive the false. So let's use it. Provide string here and let's declare a variable integer a and pass it as the second parameter out a. Okay. And let's declare a boolean. Okay, so whatever the result is coming from try parse, we are storing it in first number conversion successful. This variable we are storing it, and now we can just check this variable. If first number conversion is successful, then we can go ahead and ask for the second number, right? Else we can provide the message invalid number, please try again. And we can add this message also to tell the user this is the valid range of integer that we can provide. Now in this block, after asking the second number, what we can do, we can do the same thing what we did here. Let's declare one more variable, integer a and integer b, and let's copy this line and move it in our if block also. Okay, let's change this variable to second number and change it to b, and let's change it to d string. And we don't have d string variable, let's declare it and use console.readline to get that string. Okay, so same thing we have done for the second number also. We are asking the user the second number and trying to convert it using the try parse method, and we are storing the result of that conversion in second number conversion successful variable. Let's check this conversion result and give the appropriate error message to the user. Second number conversion successful. Then what we want to do, we want to divide these two numbers. So let's copy these two lines. What we did here, let's remove it from there and move it to our if block, because now we know the conversion was successful and we can divide the numbers. Along with this conversion, we also need to check if the second number is not 0. So we have to check if b is not equal to 0. Okay. So if b is a valid number and b is not 0, that time we can divide the number and print the result. Okay. Else if we can check if b is equal to 0, that time we can provide the message cannot divide the number by 0. Else we know conversion was not successful, so we can provide the same message which we have provided here, and we can remove this line of code. And now we don't need any catch block here, we can remove this catch block, but yes, we can keep one generic exception catch block here to handle any other kind of exception if that occurred. Let's change the message here. Let's say something went wrong, and also we can print the message whatever we are getting like this. Okay, so this is how we can avoid using multiple catch blocks and make our code more readable, and this time the developer is not overusing try catch blocks. Okay, let's run the program and see if we're getting the proper output or not. I will press Ctrl F5. I will try to give a very big number, and you can see we are getting a user-friendly message: invalid number is too large or too small. Please provide the number between this range. Okay, let's try to run the program again. This time I will give a valid number 5333. Second number I will give a 0. This time again we are getting a valid message: cannot divide by 0. Please try again. Okay, let's run the program again. I will give a valid number, and second number I will give a very long number. Again we are getting a wrong message. Let's see why we are receiving this incorrect message. Okay, we are getting that incorrect error message because we are only checking the one condition: b is equal to 0. Actually, we have to check if the conversion was successful or not. We have to print this message only if the conversion was successful. That's why let's add this one more condition to our else if block and run the program again. This time if I give the first number valid one and second number very big number, this time we are getting invalid number. Please try again, and number should be between this range. So this is the correct message for this scenario. And at the last, let's provide some valid numbers: 56, 7, and we are receiving result 8. So our program is working as expected and we are not abusing error handling. And that's it for this video guys. In the next video we will learn about enums.